Despite all the challenges, many speakers of English as an additional language affirm the ways they speak English in their unique ways.
I feel sometimes, like my pronunciation is different, my accent is different, but I am happy with that, and I'm happy to hear also different pronunciation, different words, and like that. But it's good, yeah.
I was very stressed about that I couldn't speak like English native speakers since I came here. It was very stressful for me, but now I think it's not big deal if I don't speak English like native speakers, as long as everyone understand what I say.
Now I think that my English is mine. It's just like that is me. So I'm not bothering with like the standard English, or I need to speak like native speaker. So I speak with accent and I'm comfortable with it because that is me.
Before I came to UBC, I'm really like nervous, a little bit nervous, like, and also worried about like I might make some English mistakes. Yeah, but I feel much better. Yeah, like I feel my English is like respect by others. I would say like that.
I never changed my accent in my whole life. Wherever I go, even in Europe also, I was the same person. I'm here also same. I go in US also. Why should I? Some people do that. When they start talking with the white people or those people whose native language is actually English, they change their dialect and their pronunciation, everything changes. That makes them look a little bit weird in me. I mean, I just see that why do you have to do that? Why do you have to change your accent? You just be what you are.
The most important thing for me is to be understood, how you pronounce your words and the way you speak, that other people will understand what you're saying. That's important. Accent, I don't mind about accents. We all have accents, So there's nothing wrong with accents. So speaking like a native, no, I don't wish to speak like a native. I wish to be understood, well understood when I speak, and the way I pronounce my words, I want them to come out very clear, regardless of the accent.
I've worked with people from like many different countries, and we all spoke English differently. And we never had problems. I don't think it's important really to speak standard English. I know it might, I guess maybe sometimes the depending on the setting, people might have problems in terms of being accepted in certain settings. But generally, I would say that just as long as people can understand what you're saying, you shouldn't have a problem.
My advice is don't be shy, ask. And it doesn't matter if you feel confident to bring with you like a dictionary or pocket or something, don't be shy, just ask the people. Canadians or all the people are very nice and friendly, and don't give up. Never give up.
I talk with my classmates. Sometimes it's difficult for me to understand, but I know that it's a good practice, because it's like the same in Spanish. We have different accents, we have different meanings, but you can understand. So I think that it's a good practice to listen to your classmates or the other people that have a different accent, and you can understand.
I used to live in an international student residence at UBC, and so it really made me conscious of like the different types of English, but also like people who speak English as a second language. I think it made me better at talking to people and like understanding how sometimes my accent is really hard to understand. When I was in New Zealand, I never was conscious of that, and now I think like speaking with different English and not native English speakers has helped to like understand how to communicate a bit better.
I also don't police language. So if someone is speaking in a way that doesn't fit the quote unquote standard expectation of how people deliver the language, then I try to work to understand, because that to me is what language is about. It's about being able to communicate and understand effectively.
Patience and compassion go a long way. It's just understand people are on this one, they're in many people are in a new country, it's a new culture, it's usually totally different from their own, so they have to grapple with that and learn how to basically exist around other people in a different way, and then they have to learn to communicate to people in a different way, and often they're translating in their head, and then a lot of times English I find it really hard. What I've noticed and heard from people that it's hard for them to express their true feelings in a foreign language.
One of the things that I find important in my teaching is leaving pauses for people and giving time to people to think. So people whose first language is English, I might be able to ask them a question, or I might ask a general question to the class. But the first people to answer will be the people who can process the question and the answer the fastest. Other people who might have something valuable to say might need an extra 10 seconds. So quite often I ask a question and say, think about that for 10 or 15 seconds. So that everyone gets to the starting line at the same time.
Affirming diversity is not just about recognizing diversity of English and English speakers. Diversity of world languages and cultural identities should also be embraced.
When I spent some time in France, I was working in a ski resort, and one of the local schools was on the mountain one of the days that I was there, and one of the French teachers asked me if I could sit on the chairlift with a couple of the younger kids, and they were, 11 or 12 years old. And we started a conversation in French, and they very quickly discerned that I wasn't a native French speaker and that I was almost certainly English. So they started a joke amongst themselves, kids do, kids are brutal. And the joke went along the lines of, what do you call someone who can speak 3 languages, trilingual? What do you call someone who can speak 2 languages, bilingual? What do you call someone who can speak 1 language, English? I personally believe, I don't really have any science to back it up, I don't think, but I personally believe that if you speak more than 1 language, you have to use different parts of your brain to be able to do it, and I think in doing so, you are more capable, more able to adapt to different situations or learn different concepts quicker.
I remember working with some youth, and some Spanish-speaking folks started speaking Spanish, and folks who were English-only speakers got upset, and I said, well, what are you upset about? Well, we don't know what they're saying. Are they talking to you? No. Okay, so why are you upset? Well, we want to be included. Well, if that's their first language, you should allow them to speak their first language to each other, because that's part of what community is, having diverse languages. And if you want to be a part of that, maybe you should learn some Spanish.
When she was a child, I was very strict to speaking in my language. So we didn't teach how to speak in English. She's directly, everything she's learning from English from the school.
Honestly, I'm proud to be Indian. It's very colorful, it's beautiful. Looking at the culture, the food, God, the food is just amazing. So honestly, it's really cool. It's really cool.
I just really want to see these kind of projects like this and work like this moving forward. I just think it's really important. I'm just really glad to participate and get these conversations going and not just have it be like, oh, just in education or just in writing. We're going to be the ones who are, you know, getting this ball rolling in many ways, but kind of accessing where we can start to draw out and to make change in all these different disciplines as well.